everybody. Welcome back to Who Said What. I'm Nira.
And I'm Heba.
And in the spirit of the holy month of Ramadan, we decided we'd like to talk about Ramadan this time. And the biggest question that we have is, are you the type of person that loses or gains weight in Ramadan? Heba, what type of person are you?
I am a hybrid. I gain weight. No, I lose weight. And then at times I gain weight. I have a hard time when I can't resist the sweets. That's my problem because, yeah. But I generally tend to stay pretty much the same, I would think.
You don't gain weight. And there's some people, I don't remember who, that they gain a lot of weight, but that's because, they're I think the full fasting thing just makes people really hungry when it comes time to break their fast. I usually lose weight when I used to fast. I used to lose weight because I never used to eat a lot when we break the fast. I used to keep it dates, soup, very light, and then work out, and then I'd come back and have dinner. So, and that's...
I've had such a hard time with that. I love the working out before iftar. So for those of people who don't know, so basically the Ramadan is you fast from sunrise to sunset, and you don't have any water, or you don't have any liquids or food. So it can be pretty brutal depending on what time of the year it comes. But I find I'm the opposite of Nira. I can not work out after iftar. I love the working out because in Egypt, here in Cairo, I remember from very early on when in my teenage years, everybody is at the club, at the Gezira club, before iftar, working out like crazy. And I can do that because I know if I work out an hour before iftar, because I know I'll be able to drink when I get home. So that's okay. But I cannot, after I have iftar, I love just staying at home, and I can't move after that. For me, it's not easy.
You got to do a bit of both. Me, I usually, obviously, the working out right after iftar, right after breakfast, basically, I wouldn't eat anything really heavy, which would allow me to work out. But then, of course, there are so many invitations during Ramadan. You get invited to your extended family's house, or
no, but
you have to work out before.
You're very disciplined about your working out after. No, I'm like, after I eat and I'm hanging out at home, I don't want to go out after. I mean, but
I'm disciplined about my workouts in general. If I can't get it in right after iftar, I'm going to get it in before. Because
I like the before thing because there's a social aspect to it too when you're at the Gezira Club and seeing everybody.
And everybody's trying to forget that they can't eat.
You see people that you haven't seen in like 10 years or something. And they're there at the club working out at the gym. And you're like, where have you been? So it's a nice way to... I mean, that's kind of what I love about Ramadan is that whole community spirit that you don't get during the year, funnily enough, anymore, is that everybody's so busy. Everybody's like in a rat race all the time. So when Ramadan comes, I love it when it comes around every year because it's like you just completely slow down. You don't work as hard, which is really nice. And then before iftar, everybody's going to eat. And after that, it's so quiet. There's not this like crazy work schedule that everybody's like getting to a million different places.
Well, technically, most people are in a coma because they're fasting, okay? They're half dead, in my opinion. It's the idea that they can't have their cup of coffee or their cigarette the moment they wake up in the morning, or it's like you're walking around a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, which is kind of nice because everybody's more chill.
It's irritating because if you're not that kind of a person, because I wasn't never that kind of a person. If I'm fasting, I'm still super alert and super all of that stuff. So to be around people that are like, I can't, I'm so tired.
But by the way,
I understand it, but I'm not like that.
So most people are like that the first week at least because you need to adjust. It's basically adjusting.
It's the first week you're adjusting, and by the end of Ramadan, you can't wait for it to be over.
I know. So there's just that sweet spot in there for like
the middle 2 weeks.
Days.
The middle 2 weeks.
The 2 weeks, yeah.
But I think it's really nice though that.
So what do you look forward to in Ramadan?
seeing friends and having dinner with family, and that to me is always the most beautiful thing. One of the most beautiful things about Ramadan. It's really about getting together. It's almost like the Thanksgiving of the Middle East,
Oh my God, yeah.
where you all sit
It's
together.
the nicest time to be in the Middle East
It is
because
you sit
it
together.
really is so nice. There's such a nice vibe. I love it.
I think it's nice. Well, I agree to disagree. I think eventually at some point people start to get really irritated. I mean, and they get short-tempered, and
You mean towards the end of Ramadan?
I find sometimes the first week too, because they're still kind of adapting to the change. They're still trying to be very spiritual and zen.
No, I think most people that are fast and pray become, well, when they fast, I think people are generally more spiritual in Ramadan. There is that feeling there is that feeling of being more spiritual. Like, I have to admit, I don't fast during the year. I don't pray during the year, I'm sorry. But I pray during Ramadan, and it is so nice. That whole feeling is really nice. And I always say, God, I have to do this after Ramadan, but I never do. But no, I think on the contrary, I think people, because it's Ramadan and there is that, you slow down, and maybe there are some people like me that don't pray during the rest of the year and pray during Ramadan, that it makes you feel much more spiritual. I think on the contrary, I think they're not like, I think it's towards the end where it's like, khalas, there's like so many things. There's like, you have to.
And is it last day today, or is it tomorrow? We don't know. We have to check out the moon. Maybe it's today. Maybe it's tomorrow. It's like that whole thing. I honestly, I because I don't fast anymore for personal reasons, I find I get almost frustrated for my friends who look like they're dying and can't wait for it to be over, even though they love it.
But yeah, sometimes at the end you just kind of like, it's you're happy that it's going to be over, but it's really, I don't know. It's very.
One thing I don't like about Ramadan very much, by the way, just to say what we don't. The restaurants are completely horrible in Ramadan. They're only good for suhoor.
But that's the worst place. I don't like going to restaurants in Ramadan. That's the nice thing about Ramadan, is that you don't go to restaurants. You generally go to people's homes,
but sometimes
families. So that's the nicest thing.
But sometimes when you want to meet some friends, it's either you meet them for suhoor. Suhoor is the meal you eat right before the first prayer right before sunrise. So basically, it's the last time you're able to eat or drink water. I'm sure most people know this, but if anybody that doesn't know this, that's why we're just clarifying. So it's the last meal you can have or water you can drink before the sun rises. Now, those are fun outings, but sometimes they're too late for people, especially people that have kids. So you end up going for...
Those outings are perfect, like when you're in your 20s and 30s, when you don't have kids, maybe, or you just have this, you're on a roll with going out all the time, you're much more sociable. I used to love those days. Like you said, we used to just go to these places.
And there's like backgammon, there's like a party going on. People are playing backgammon,
like
people are playing cards. The food is the best because it's breakfast. You're talking about falafel, fool.
But yeah, no, what's really nice too is that you end up seeing so many people that you haven't seen in years at these places. So it's so much fun. All of your friends that you've met in your entire lifetime in one evening, and you guys just play backgammon and cards all day long. Oh, and shisha. Smoke shisha, of course. And it's such a fun night. Those nights are so much fun. I don't remember when the last time I went out for that kind of suhoor was. Must have been ages ago.
I always do it, I think, once or twice during Ramadan.
I have
with
not
some
done
friends.
For me, generally, my outings in the past few years have been at somebody's house, either family or a close friend, or I have people over. So I don't remember ever going out for suhoor. It's been ages. I don't really I like the suhoor a lot, but I don't like staying out very late either. So even though I don't have a family and I have no kids, but it's just different. I don't know.
It's changed, especially the tents these years. They keep getting bigger, and they're.
Do they still have them? By the way,
Yeah, of course, they always have them.
where did you go last year for suhoor?
Oh my goodness, I don't even remember.
I don't remember going to suhoor.
A lot of people always do Andrea for suhoor.
Oh my God, those used to be amazing.
Of course, because it's fantastic. There's always a tent or a couple of tents in the big hotels. So Four Seasons has usually a tent. But COVID, obviously, there was.
Supposed to be boring. You want to go to a place like, you want to go like Khan Khanidi, a place like that, like more traditional place. Those must be, are probably much more fun. I wouldn't want to go to Four Seasons for Ramadan.
Khan Khanidi is a lot of fun. It's really crowded, though. It's super crowded.
I love Khan Khanidi. I hate crowds. I get like palpitations and anxiety. You know me, Nira. I hate crowds, but that's the only place I like to go when it's crowded. Not maybe overly crowded, but I like it when it's crowded because you feel the vibe much more. And Ramadan there is really nice with the lanterns and the decorations. So
I asked to hold one time in a place, but this is a few years ago. I wonder if they're going to do it. It's like a villa with an open courtyard. It was very well known, and that you have what's it called? The dervisher dancers, dervishes, dancers, and the table, and it was just obviously the standard suhoor menu. That was actually a lot of fun because you're walking through Khan Khalili, and it was like inside this. I have to ask my friends that came with me.
Yeah, you got to ask me because maybe I'll do a suhoor this Ramadan.
It is usually a lot of fun. But the other thing that's really interesting about Ramadan in Egypt, I mean, like I'm intrigued this year, this Ramadan, what the dessert of the month is going to be.
Oh yeah,
it's just like this fusion of.
Well, wait a minute.
Yes,
when we were at the Four Fat Ladies, that was like a thing. You prepare for 6 months ahead of time. You prepare for Ramadan desserts. And
I have to say, we started the whole fusion thing, incorporating.
Did we? What did we start it with? What did we do?
We were the first to add peanut butter to the kunefa. Remember, we did a peanut butter Nutella kunefa.
Wow!
And we did the halawa kunefa.
Oh, and the halawa brownie.
The halawa brownie as well. That wasn't the first year. That was the year later. Of course, the fruit of the month of Ramadan is always mangoes. I don't know what they're going to do this year because it's not mango season at all.
Yeah,
but there's still going to be mango. There still are mango desserts. So But
what was your favorite? I'm trying to think of what was my favorite dessert in Ramadan that was a fusion thing. Because FYI, I do not like those desserts. I like the traditional, the kunefa, the basbousa, although basbousa is not my favorite, but I like the atayef, which you do too.
I'm very lucky that I don't like Oriental desserts at all.
I swear to God, I'm drooling now. I love those traditional ones. I hate the fusion ones. I hate the red velvet with kunefa. They're actually quite gross, I have to say. They're gross. The kunefa within this cream cheese frosting with the kunefa, and I don't know. Just
I'm more of a traditionalist as well. I don't like Oriental desserts, but I love eating atayef because it's the only time of the year where they make the pancakes.
But remind me because going back to that fusion thing, because I remember I was in it for so many years, I feel like I'm blank. It's like I completely blocked those years.
I remember which one I liked, by the way. Somebody got it for me and I said, this is delicious. Because it was a fusion, but it wasn't over the top.
What was it?
It was a...
Churros?
No. It was a rice pudding with dulce de leche, but it's actually a caramel sauce, please. And crushed almonds.
Who had done that?
It was salé sucré. And it was delicious, actually.
Really?
It was delicious.
I can't remember.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff in there that I don't like. Like, I had a feeling, oh, yes, it's a bowl, and there's a rice.
Are we talking about the rose belaban?
Yes, okay. This is the one they have. It's a rice pudding, a rice pudding bowl, and there's like a thin layer of isha, which I do not like.
Which I love.
And on top of that, there's caramel sauce that's like nice and chewy kind of a thing. So you don't really taste the ishta as clotted cream. So you don't really taste it. and then they have like roasted crushed almonds on top. It's actually really good.
Oh my God, that sounds really good.
I definitely recommend that we try. We get the rice pudding.
I'm trying to think if there was anything. I have to try that this year, but I'm trying to think of who did something that I actually liked. I don't think I liked any of
the Basque cheesecake. We tried it last year.
Yeah, but that's not Ramadan.
But for some odd reason, it was a very popular item in Ramadan.
Which, funnily enough, I made it for somebody just a week before because I don't know. I said I'd try it, and they loved it. But I thought it was really heavy, the Basque cheesecake.
It is very.
That one, because the one I made was thin. It must have been like, what is this, like 5 centimeters high? But it was nice. It was light.
Yeah.
The one that we got, which hasn't devoured.
The Basque cheesecake is way heavier than the standard cheesecake.
So heavy.
But it's way heavier than the standard cheesecake.
It was just too thick, I thought.
But then, so yes, I'm intrigued. And of course, there's going to be the tres leche that everybody loves, and it's delicious.
I don't like it.
And then
it's way too sweet. It's like drinking sugar.
But it's meant to be sweet.
And you know, it's funny actually, because I like those other ones that I'm saying that I love.
She's called
they're very sweet.
And then
but you know,
all those are super sweet.
When you put the ish on top of the ish saraya, it's not so sweet.
And the kunefa.
Perfect. No, the kunefa is good. And the balach Hashem. Oh my God.
That's pure sugar, but Hashem. I know. I don't like these things.
True.
I don't like these things at all.
I'm a diehard Quaidar fan when it comes to Ramadan.
I'm a diehard Quaidar fan when it comes to ice cream.
I know that. Okay, so since Ramadan revolves around mainly food, what is the thing that you wait for in terms of food in Ramadan? Like, what do you really look forward to?
I don't know. I'm a huge soup fan, so I love the whole having soup before.
You're a little boring though with food.
I am super boring with food, actually. I'm beyond, like, because none of
Nira doesn't like hamam mahshi. She's like not Egyptian.
No, I don't like it at all. I mean, I'm even one of those people that molokhia, I like it.
Yeah, you have a hard time eating it, which is
I get grossed out very quickly. But I think I always like, but mom only makes it when we have invitations, and it really messes up with my stomach. But I cannot the feta bitingen.
Okay, the one. Okay, with the
the feta bitingen. So it's eggplant with a really crispy bread, yogurt,
yes.
and the meat sauce, right? Is it
meat?
Oh, I love that. I love.
God, I'm starving.
But what do you like? Heba's more of a traditionalist. So
I'm an adventure. Well, yeah, but I like all types of food. I like
breakfast aspect of it.
Foods.
I like when there's food. There's the fava beans, the food and tameya, and I like that during Fitr actually too. By the way,
no, I like all the soups. I like this one traditional soup that I learned how to make in Saudi that I really like.
Like that one. Here always serve shirkaseya.
I like shirkaseya. You don't like it?
I cannot stand it.
Oh, I like shirkaseya.
I find it's the most insignificant dish. They're like the sauce. I'm like, sauce is.
I love mahshi, but actually, there's a lot of. Some people make it very well, and sometimes it's just not good. It's sometimes just way too heavy. But I like hamam mahshi. I would have to say, what do you have during Ramadan? I like everything, actually. I'm very easygoing.
We're not super traditionalist when it comes to like Ramadan food, so we just cook like we would cook normally.
Yeah, but when we have an invite or when we go, I look forward to going for invites because I like food. I have to say,
I like invites because you never know what to expect.
Yeah, they're
especially fun. Certain people's houses where I know I love their food. I always get really excited.
Yes, I know. But we don't go to many iftars in Ramadan now like before. How many? I probably go to like 5 max during the month.
That's a lot, Heba. That's a lot.
No, that's not. Some people are out more.
We do it at 1 invitation, maybe 2 for Ramadan.
I do a couple as well.
You do. We do. There's always a 1 invitation where you invite the family, extended family, and then you invite your extended family, and then your extended family has 1, and we go, and and then maybe I have 1 or 2 with friends.
Yeah, I like the one, but yeah, it just. Yeah, I like that whole feeling of like hanging out and all eating at the same time and getting together with people, not over alcohol, just to have food, and it's nice. It's a nice.
It's nice because everybody's sober.
Yeah.
It's a time to meet people and everybody is sober.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I enjoy it tremendously. And I really enjoyed the whole being able to eat with people, because you never eat with people anymore. You're always eating like at random times.
But there's always that 30 minutes, that hour before you eat, which is like it's pure torture. You like want to pass the time. You want to go to sleep.
That's why it's a good time to go to the club then.
That's true. I
You go to the club, you go to the club, you hang out with people, you do a bit of a workout, and, you know, by the time you're back home, it's like, you know, you just heat up the food and you're good. Yeah, I love it. I like the 30 minutes after now, because then you get to watch, well, you try to watch something, because nowadays there's like every 2 seconds there's a commercial. The commercials last longer than how much you watch the episode for.
The commercials were pretty long back in the day as well, though.
Really?
Yeah, they were. I mean, it was always Ramadan. The commercials in Ramadan are like the commercials during the Super Bowl.
It's true.
People spend a ton of money on the commercials now.
And then it's
back
the main feature.
Yeah, and so you're like, everybody's trying to see whose commercial trumped the other person's commercial. And I worked in the advertising industry, so I know a lot of the people that do the commercials. So it's really interesting. But also, I mean, back then there was only
it was just Tarek Noor.
It was
and
only
his
one advertising.
his adverts were so iconic.
I still remember them till now.
I remember them till now.
And there was one TV show back then, and then there was the Fawazir. That's it.
That was it.
So you didn't have a choice. You had to you watched those, and that's it. Now there's so many different choices.
But I have to say, I look forward to every year watching El Kibir with Ahmed Makki. Oh my God, that guy! I was like, who is this guy? I'm in love with this guy. He is so funny. He's so funny.
I don't watch any of these shows, so
I know you don't watch any.
And
there's this one which we used to have a long time ago, is Candid Camera, Camera Khafiyya. But now there's this one guy who does these major pranks who's kind of annoying.
Oh my God, I forget his name. Oh my God, he's so annoying. I can't watch that show, actually. But it's super popular. But I'm surprised that people still get duped by him. Don't
I know
by now?
They know that they're gonna get, and they act like they're always shocked. So I'm wondering, is it acting or is it pure?
No, it's not acting. Like I've
really
I've known a couple.
They're getting punked.
I've known a couple of people who got punks, yes, and they were not expecting it.
Because everybody knows that he does that every single time, like these crazy, outlandish things, that you would think they'd have a bit of brains, that they know that that's kind of it. Unless, I don't know.
But it's not always him, I think, that does it. It's in the...
No, he's on those like when I've seen them, he's always in it.
I've seen a couple of... I don't know. It's a good question. We have to pay attention. Great. Now,
if anybody knows the answer to that, please,
share.
Send in your answers.
Share.
Yeah.
But the commercials are always big. Now the commercials are not just commercials. Now it's social media as well.
Ah, yes.
So
yeah,
a lot of people watch these shows on YouTube. Yeah, as well. It's not just TV. I mean, it's on TV. It's on YouTube as well. Like sometimes last year, I remember asking people, I'm like, where can I watch it? They're like, it's on YouTube. I'm like, okay. So social media has also changed the whole,
yeah, of course,
essence, I think, of all the ads and stuff like that.
What was that ad? The one I remember with Tarek Noor is the one, the
bistik meow.
Is it the Jersey chocolate with the coconut in it? I think that's the one. Yeah,
yeah, like these foreign women dressed in these cat suits.
But I think one of them was who?
Who?
Adil's cousin Naila.
Really?
His sister. Well, you guys don't know these people, but anyways, I think like
we're going down memory lane.
Yeah.
And there was that. Oh, I just remember two commercials. The Egyptian version of the Bounty, which is a Jersey.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, and the other one was that chewing gum. Magic, remember that
one that changes color? There was a commercial for that.
Yes, Mama and Isa and that cartoon character that opens its mouth.
No, you remember?
I just remember those two. I don't remember anything else.
I don't remember that.
Really, you don't remember?
But you just remember
and like this huge mouth and
oh my God! But you just reminded me I remember when I was younger, you remember, because we used to go to the club then, because you're a club then before
There's a little woman standing outside.
Exactly. There was
chewing gum.
There was the woman standing outside the door, and she was sent, and that was like my thing, like getting out. I had to buy the, what was it? The chocolate, the rocket. With it had, and sometimes it had amazing caramel in it, and sometimes it was like it would break your teeth. And then there was
chewing gum.
There was a magic chewing gum. There was also
there was those plastic things that you make the bracelets with.
Exactly. No, but before that, there was asaleya. You remember?
Oh, asaleya,
which I loved. But there was also those plastic bracelets that I became a pro at. Do you remember?
What are they called?
I don't know. And there was had these colored tubes, kind of plastic tubes, and then I would sit there for hours make them.
And you make them for friends.
I used to make them for everybody. Those ones,
you make them round, you make them round and then square. Remember?
That's right. I wonder if I could make them now. But you know, the one that I could make still till now is the one with the thread. Like, I remember how I would be able to do it.
I remember how to do the plastic one.
The thread it had like layers of colors. You remember?
Yes. But I remember the plastic one as well. I remember how to do
I used to make this for everybody, I think. I used to be like a pro at those. I loved those.
Oh my God.
My God, that was so funny. Yeah. No, the Zero Club was like the best until now too.
Yeah, it's still great.
Okay, so actually, you know, it just came to mind. Somebody, I just remembered what those bracelets were. They're called Scooby-Doos. Okay. Anyways, now we went off on a tangent about going back back to our childhood. So back to Ramadan, I want to ask you one last question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your least favorite thing about Ramadan?
Let's see. The least favorite thing I think about Ramadan is when people ask me, "Inti hatsumi senedi wala zay kull sana?" So basically, in translation, it just means, "Are you fasting this year or like every or like previous years?" So it's kind of a play on words, and it really freaks me out because I don't fast. So I'm like, do they know I'm not fasting? Is that what? Basically, they're just it's a play on words, but it bugs me. It bugs me when people ask me because I don't think they should ask me.
No, but I know we always have this argument, by the way.
Yes.
Every Ramadan we have this argument because you're like, why do they ask me? They shouldn't be asking me. When people say Saima Sanendi مش زي كل
ولا زي كل سنة
ولا زي كل سنة, I get the impression, I don't think it's necessarily play on words. I think some people will ask because generally I went through a few years because I didn't fast, but I think it's generally because we look like we wouldn't be the type to fast. So I think that's my genuine opinion. I think that they think that, okay, these girls are more foreign, but they probably don't fast. But that's a way of saying it in a funny way. But at the same time, there's a bit of serious to this. They're kind of like, Matsumiyam. And they kind of like, they feel like you should be fasting.
Maybe. I think they ask that to everybody, though. It's a question that's asked to whether you look foreign or you look very Egyptian.
Oh, really? I always took it like it's like they say it to me. Maybe I take it personally. I feel like they mean it because they feel like, okay, inti مش صايمة inti, you look like the type that wouldn't fast. Sumi sanedi.
A lot of people don't know that I don't fast because I find they get, for whatever reason, sometimes some people get offended. So when they ask me that question, a few years ago when they asked me that question, I got super paranoid because I thought somebody told them that I don't fast.
But why would you care? But why would you care if you're not fasting? Why would you care if people know that you're fasting or you're not fasting?
I think some people don't take it well when you say that you're not fasting. I think a lot of people, some of my close friends don't take it well.
So you prefer to keep the peace?
I think they think for whatever reason I'm not fasting for whatever reason. It's obviously a very personal reason why I don't fast, but
you just said on this podcast, so everybody knows now that you don't
So if
fast.
somebody wants to know why I don't fast, you can send us a question on our Instagram account on Who Said What Podcast. Feel free to ask me the question, why don't I fast? And maybe I'll answer it on a following episode. I have no problems talking about it. I think people just get really critical about it, and they
I don't think it's as much as before. Before, I would say I would say before it was very much of a taboo not fasting. Now you find a lot of people don't fast.
You do find a lot of people fast, but why? The question is, why don't people fast? So I have a friend of mine, one of my best friends. I love doing this because whenever we start talking about it, he starts pushing me away. He's just like, Nira, if God strikes you down, I'm collateral damage. So I kind of like jump and I hug him. so he goes down with me. He gets freaked out when I start talking.
During Ramadan? Or you mean anytime when you guys talk about the fact that you don't fast, you mean?
Why I don't fast.
Why?
So he gets kind of freaked out. It's really funny actually. But it's super funny. He's like, "Ibadi anni. If God strikes you down, I'm sitting next to you. I'm too close." So it's so yeah. I mean.
So you don't like the invasion of privacy. You don't like people asking you whether you're fasting.
I don't think people even jokingly should ask. That's my personal feeling. I think it's a personal thing. I think it's nobody's business. I think it's between you and God. And nobody has a right to judge me but God. So there's a certain level of judgment that comes into it when they ask you that question. Because if you answer truthfully, you're going to be judged. If you lie, you feel bad that you lied. so it's just one of those things. It's catch-22. You know, you
I get it.
Want to be truthful about it, but you know that you can't.
Okay. On that
really
note,
deep.
Yeah, that was very deep. And on that note, we will say bye to everybody. And please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, Who Said What, with Heba and Nira.
If you have any questions,
yes. If you have any questions, DM us on Who Said What podcast Instagram account, and we will see you next week.
Have a great Ramadan. Bye, everybody.